The street was ordinary, lined with maple trees that shed golden leaves each autumn. At its far end stood a two-story house, freshly painted, its windows glowing warmly in the evening light. For Daniel Foster, moving here with his wife Clara and their 7-year-old daughter Emma was supposed to mark a new beginning. They had left behind the noise of the city, chasing quiet and safety. But peace was never meant for this house. The first sign came late one night. Daniel awoke to the faintest whisper, so soft it could have been the wind. He sat up, listening. The house was silent except for the ticking of the hallway clock. Clara slept beside him, her breathing steady. Convinced it was nothing, Daniel lay back down. But the whispers returned the next night, clearer, almost forming words. He couldn't understand them, but they curled into his ears like smoke. By the third night, Daniel was sure he heard a voice. A woman's, thin and strained. He walked through the darkened hall, every board creaking under his weight. "Hello," he whispered into the shadows. No answer, only that faint sound trailing behind him like an echo. Days passed. Clara noticed his tired eyes and short temper. "You're working too hard," she told him over breakfast. "You need rest." Daniel didn't argue. He didn't tell her that when he closed his eyes, he dreamt of screams. Emma, bright and imaginative, began drawing odd pictures. Stick figures with hollow faces. A house with black windows. One page showed a woman holding a child, both figures surrounded by jagged lines. "Who's this?" Daniel asked gently. Emma shrugged. "They live here too." The words chilled him. That night, he set up an old recorder in the living room. Hours later, he replayed the tape. At first, static. Then, faintly, a child's cry. His breath caught. When Clara saw the tape, she dismissed it. "Old machines make strange noises, Daniel. Please don't scare Emma with this." But Daniel couldn't let it go. He began researching the house's history. Public records, old newspapers, archived clippings. It was then he discovered the story. 40 years ago, a family had lived here. A mother, father, and child. One night, both mother and child vanished. No trace, no explanation. The father was suspected but never charged. The case went cold. Daniel's obsession deepened. He wandered the house at night, following the whispers as if they were guiding him. He heard doors slam where no doors moved, a child's laughter echoing faintly in the hall, a woman crying in the basement. Clara begged him to stop, her voice breaking. "You're scaring Emma. You're scaring me. Please, Daniel. This isn't healthy." But Emma seemed strangely calm. One evening, she told him, "The little girl wants me to play. She says she's lost." Clara broke into tears, clutching Emma to her chest. Daniel, pale and trembling, only whispered, "She's real." One stormy night, the voices reached their peak. Thunder shook the house, and rain lashed against the windows. The whispers became screams, overlapping, urgent. Daniel followed them into the basement. He pressed his ear to the wall, heart hammering. Behind the paneling, the sound was clearest, a woman pleading, a child sobbing. Driven by terror and conviction, Daniel tore at the boards. Behind them lay a narrow crawl space, thick with dust. He shone his flashlight inside and froze. Bones, small and fragile, curled together. A locket glinted in the beam. The remains of a mother and child, sealed away for decades. The voices stopped. Daniel knelt in silence, his breath ragged. He reached for the locket, his hand shaking. Inside was a faded photo of the woman and her daughter, smiling in sunlight that had died long ago. He felt Clara behind him, gasping as she saw the truth. For a long moment, neither spoke. By morning, police cars lined the street. Neighbors whispered as officers carried evidence from the house. Clara held Emma close, refusing to look at Daniel. He sat on the front steps, head in his hands, haunted by what he had uncovered. He had sought truth and found it, but at what cost? When the detectives left, Daniel stepped back inside. The house was eerily quiet. No whispers, no echoes. For the first time since moving in, silence pressed against the walls. He wondered if the spirits had been freed, or if they had simply fallen asleep again. Emma took his hand. "They're gone now," she said softly, looking up at him with solemn eyes. "They just wanted someone to know." Daniel gazed at her, unsure whether to believe her words or fear them. The house seemed to breathe around him, its shadows heavy with secrets. Perhaps some crimes never stop speaking. Perhaps their echoes never fade. And in the silence that followed, Daniel wondered whether the voices were truly gone, or if one day, when the night was darkest and the house most still, they would begin to whisper again.